Hello, everybody, and welcome to another CLNS Patriots Roundtable. My name is Alex Barth, joined today by Mike Petraglia and Mike Alonji. Guys, we're about a month out from the draft here, month and a half, and the Patriots finally got active. We'll get into that as well as some other moves we think the Patriots need to make down the road. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Doing well. How you doing, Alex? Mike, good morning.
Very well. Good morning, guys.
So let's start with the big move yesterday. Danny Shelton, the former 12th pick in the draft, defensive tackle from Washington. Patriots acquire him in a late-round pick this year for a third-round pick next year. Trags, will just start initial thoughts. What did you make of the Patriots' first big move of the 2018 offseason?
I love it because Danny Shelton, feast mode, is a 24-pound, 6'2", 343-pound anchor in the middle of that defensive line. And he, again, is somebody he's young enough, you can move him around like Bill Belichick likes to do around the defensive line. He's not just going to be necessarily right over the nose. You can move off to the guard a little bit, and I think that's what they envisioned doing with Danny Shelton. Certainly, he, again, the youth. I can't, overstate the significance of getting a guy when he's only 24 years of age and really molding him into something that could really help the Patriots in terms of the depth along their defensive line. They already have the likes of Malcolm Brown in the middle of that line, and I think with Trey Flowers moving all over the defensive line, it's a good addition for the Patriots, and I don't think it cost them that much in terms of draft capital.
Michael Alonji.
Yeah, I mean, it adds a lot of depth at that position, the defensive tackle position, which is obviously good to see. Now you've got a really stout lineup of guys there: Lawrence Guy, Malcolm Brown, all these different guys. Excuse me. So it's a great move, and like Trag said, he's a big, huge guy in the middle. It's a Vince Wilfork-esque presence in the middle, which is great to see. It's a big part of the Patriots defense, as all of us know. Not great on the pass rushing front. Obviously, he was a guy, Danny Shelton, when he came out of the draft, was a guy who they said, oh, he can, really rush the passer from the inside like that. Not only 1.5 sacks for his career so far, but still, it's a guy who can definitely help in the run game, which is somewhere where the Patriots certainly will need some help. And now, obviously, it brings up the idea that you can use your draft picks or your other free agency moves and things like that to address other issues on the defense, such as the pass rush or the secondary, the linebacking core, whatever you want. So, yeah, I think it's a great move overall, and you can't really complain too much when you get a guy like Danny Shelton, as Trag said, 24 years old, big body, talented guy to be in the middle of your defense like that.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, I'm going to interject. I didn't mean to suggest that he's going to be a defensive end like Trey Flowers rushing the quarterback. That's not what I meant. I just meant he provides a little bit of versatility, over center and over the guard. That's, where he's going to be asked to do the, Wilfork around. For the most part, even though he's a nose tackle, Belichick loves to get versatile and get creative with his tackles so they can't be as predictable along the defensive line. And I think Danny Shelton kind of fits the mold here.
The thing for me with Shelton, and I like the player, I like the move. We know how they value guys often at their original draft position. So to get a guy who was taken 12th overall for the third-round pick, that's a no-brainer for Belichick. But I'm not thrilled that that's the position they're worried about right now. I know that they're focused on other issues, but for that to be the first move.
Yeah, guys.
And what I like about this, and you guys mentioned the depth, is maybe now one of those defensive tackles becomes expendable. You guys talked about having Malcolm Brown on the inside, Vincent Valentine, Lawrence Guy. I wonder if a guy like Malcolm Brown, who is due a sizable roster bonus on May 2nd, is in the last year of his deal and is going to want big money next summer. I wonder if that's a guy that becomes expendable. If Danny Shelton is worth a third, Malcolm Brown has to be worth at least a third, maybe a second, or even possibly in a player-for-player swap. They can use him to improve at the cornerback position, maybe grab a tackle if Nate Solder leaves, something like that. So I wonder if they're done tooling around at that interior defensive line position.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about what the Patriots are worried about at this aspect. They don't look at it like a fan, right? I mean, they don't look at it as like you, me, or anybody out there rooting for the New England Patriots. They see a need, they see the opportunity to get this done, and they get it done. It doesn't mean that there aren't other priorities that they're going to address. Secondly, I think you bring up a great point about Malcolm Brown, as the Patriots are always forward-looking in their team building and roster building philosophy. And certainly if he's due a big roster bonus, and if they have any inkling from his agent or otherwise that he's going to demand a lot of money, and they don't feel that he is worth the value that he is going to command on the market, this is insurance against that. I think that's
well, the one guy for me who kind of put me in that mindset, and I forgot to mention, I was listing off their depth on the interior, was Adam Butler. He was a guy I thought was one of their best defensive linemen this year, an undrafted guy out of Vanderbilt, incredibly athletic for a guy his size. And I think him and Malcolm Brown in some ways play the same role. So if you can have a guy who's making, I believe it's under $1 million a year on his UDFA contract in Adam Butler, why would you keep Malcolm Brown around when you now have Danny Shelton, you're going to have Vincent Valentine coming back from injury, and Lawrence Guy?
I think it's also decent to, point out that the Patriots did also get a draft pick out of this as well, which was something that, Bill Belichick likes to squeeze those extra draft picks out of guys. It's an extra 5th-round pick. Belichick likes to mess around a lot in that 4th, 5th round area.
Yes, he does.
So that's probably as big a part of the deal as the Danny Shelton thing was getting that extra pick. You give up a pick in 2019, but still you grab that extra 5th-round pick is a pretty big deal as well.
That's a great point, Mike.
I want to remind everybody that this roundtable is brought to you by DraftKings. Use promo code CLNS at DraftKings.com on your first sign up. It's also brought to you by RX Bar. Go to rxbar.com/CLNS for 25% off of your order.